Super Plus.
Greetings and welcome to the Hills of Steel 2 Tank Breakdown series. I'm your host Andrew and we're back with another tank in the series. This time we're going to be taking a look at the flamethrowing tank, Phoenix. Much like its counterpart in Hills of Steel 1, Phoenix is a flamethrowing tank, but there are some differences. In Hills of Steel 1 it is a very fast, nimble, damage dealing tank, whereas in Hills of Steel 2 it is designed more to be that of a frontline tank. As you can see from the statistics, it is very healthy, which makes it great at being a blocker at the front of your team to help take a lot of damage and protect your team, while using your flamethrower to spit out a lot of damage. As always, it can be leveled up with coins and cards, and it comes with a number of tank attachments. In this particular one, there's many different ways that you can play it. More survivability, more damage, or more special. For this particular one, we're actually going to be going with faster health regeneration, because we want to be on the front lines, and more damage from our flamethrower. Let's take a look at Phoenix in action as we jump into a number of different game modes to show the advantages and disadvantages of the tank. Let's start things off by doing a little bit of bunker bash. The two different attacks that you will be using with Phoenix, the first one, as we mentioned, is the flamethrower. It will spit out flames in a short distance in front of the tank, which will do a lot of damage to any tanks that are within range of it. The second one is the special. Once you've built up enough of the meter and built up your special, you will gain a canister that sits on the back of Phoenix. You can then launch that canister forward, which when impacting on the ground will bounce around a little bit, explode, and leave a trail of fire. This becomes useful for a number of different things, particularly in maps like this where the objective is actually the bunkers rather than the kills that you get. You can launch it over the top of other enemies to get it into the bunker, and then it'll do damage and there's nothing they can do to stop it. The flamethrower can also then add to the additional damage. So if you throw the canister and the fire's on the ground and enemies are standing in it, and then using your flamethrower, you can take down a lot of tanks very quickly. The other thing that we noted is that because Phoenix has a lot of health, it's great to play on the front line to help protect your teammates and try to push into these bunkers to protect your teammates while they do damage from a distance. Let's now jump over to a different game mode, Rampage, where the sole idea is to get kills. So with Phoenix, as a tank that plays on the front lines, we want to get up close and personal and try and defend our teammates from dying too much, as well as getting a lot of damage done. There are a number of things that when playing Phoenix can be both to your advantage and to your disadvantage. In this case, we're taking a lot of damage from the distance and we can't really get close enough to get to those damage dealers in the back. And this kind of works a little bit against us. If we are unable to get to those damage dealers, it means that we end up getting stuck and we're unable to do what we need for the team. Because our flamethrower reach isn't that great, and because we can take a lot of damage if we can't get close, it means that we're going to be kind of struggling to help our team. This of course also depends on the attachments that you're using. If you have more health, maybe you can charge in quicker, or the movement speed to help you get to those back lines quicker. And it also depends on the team composition that is supporting you as a frontline tank. The other thing to remember as well is that when you build up your special, you can use the launched canister to aim for the damage dealers in the back, and if you can land the canister on them and the fire lands below them, they're going to be forced to move and might give you the advantage and the time to push in that you need. Let's now switch away from some team v team and check out how Phoenix does in a 1v1 situation. In 1v1, it's going to depend who you're up against. In this case, because we're going up against a ranged tank and their shots are going to go over us, it's very easy for us as Phoenix to push in and do a lot of damage to take the kill. Unfortunately for the opponent, Their shots are just going to keep going over us, which means we're never at any real threat, and because we are a tank with a lot of health, we can even take a few hits while we push in. This means that we can go for a very quick and easy victory here. Of course, if we were to go up against another tank that is like a Kong or a Wally, it would be a little bit more difficult. So always remember who you're going up against and the advantages of that. In something like Star Catch, you can use the canister as the utility to hold the other team back. Especially when you're playing on a map with terrain like this, when you launch the canister, it's going to hit the ground and roll forward a little bit, and you can use this fire to help keep the enemies at bay, with the objective being to collect stars. You or your team can then safely do so to claim a victory. So overall, when playing Phoenix, remember what attachments you're using, and use the ones that suit your playstyle best. You want to protect your team by getting up and close to the enemy team, to help use your flamethrower and your health to protect your team and do damage in return. Remember to use your canister right and place it correctly so that it'll do either damage to the objective or to use as a hold off against the enemy team. This concludes our tank breakdown for Phoenix in Heroes of Steel 2. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow all our social medias to keep up to date with all the content that we have coming out for all our games. Also, don't forget to join our Discord where you can interact with other players, share fan art, and many other things like giveaways. If you play Phoenix and you have any hints or tips, let us know in the comments below, tips for new beginners or for those that haven't played Phoenix but wish to do so. Until the next time, have fun and we will see you on the hills.